Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a pretty challenging argument from the philosopher Margaret Griebowitz. It's an idea that asks us to totally rethink what we believe pornography is and what it actually does in the age of the internet.
Right, let's just jump straight into it. The whole point here is that the internet didn't just give us more porn. It fundamentally changed its DNA. The old debates we're all familiar with, about morality or censorship or even feminism, they might be completely missing the bigger picture of what's happening right now.
So, to really get where we're going, we first have to understand where we've been. For about the last 40 years, the feminist discussion around pornography has been, kind of stuck in a huge battle between two totally different ways of looking at it.
Okay, so first up, we have the camp that says pornography isn't just a bunch of pictures or harmless fantasies. No, it's seen as a real-world practice, something with very real consequences that actively shapes the power dynamics between men and women.
This is the idea really pioneered by thinkers like Catherine MacKinnon. And the argument goes like this. We need to stop debating porn as if it's just speech. Instead, we need to look at what it actually does. How it's made, how it's used, and how it literally builds and reinforces social power structures.
And this is where the argument gets even more intense. It's not just about the ideas in the porn. This view says the very act of consuming it, of feeling pleasure while you watch acts of domination, is a physical practice. It's something that basically trains your body to connect subordination with arousal. It's not intellectual. It's a physical, gut-level experience.
All right, let's flip the coin and look at the other side of this long debate. This perspective paints a completely different picture. It argues that porn is definitely not a user's manual for how to behave in the real world. It's something way more complicated.
So the argument here is that porn is actually a space to explore all the things that are forbidden in our day-to-day lives. And instead of reinforcing the status quo, it can actually be a place of resistance, a way to push boundaries and force us to look at what we as a culture are truly afraid of.
I love this quote because it illustrates that idea perfectly. From this point of view, pornography isn't the problem itself. It's more like a diagnostic tool. It's an MRI for our culture. If you really examine a society's pornography, you get to see all its hidden fears, its taboos, and its secret desires just laid out in the open.
So, you've got these two really powerful, totally opposing views. Porn as a harmful practice versus porn as a revealing fantasy. And honestly, the debate has been stuck in that tug-of-war for decades. But the source we're digging into today says this entire framework is basically obsolete now, all thanks to one massive, world-changing technology.
The way pornography is distributed now has changed it on a fundamental level. I mean, think about it. It went from being a physical object you had to go out and get, a magazine, a VHS tape, to something that just circulates endlessly, frictionlessly, online.
And this, right here, is the absolute key to the whole argument. Pornography's new identity is simply data. It's bits and bytes flowing freely, everywhere all at once. And understanding this massive shift from a physical thing to pure information is the only way to get a grip on its new kind of political power.
Okay, so why does this whole shift to information matter so much? To really understand its political impact, we have to bring in the French philosopher Jean Baudrillard and his critique of how information works in modern society. And trust me, this is where it gets really mind-bending. So Baudrillard's logic pretty much goes like this. A modern state needs its citizens to be completely knowable, totally transparent, so they can be managed. There can't be any hidden depths, no secrets, and the internet, with its nonstop pressure to share, to post, to reveal everything, it's the perfect machine for this job. And in this context, what is pornography? It's the mission to make the most private, most secret act imaginable totally and completely visible for everyone to see. It becomes the ultimate example of this demand for total transparency.
Now here's the crazy part. This constant pressure to be visible, it doesn't feel like some kind of top-down control. Not at all. In fact, it feels like the exact opposite. It feels like connection, it feels like participation, it feels like community.
Just think about the design of pretty much any major porn site today. It's all built around these features, right? It's not just about sitting back and watching. It's about sharing and commenting and uploading your own stuff and rating what everyone else has shared. It creates this really powerful illusion of a rebellious, underground community sharing forbidden knowledge.
But here is the major twist. Following Baudrillard's logic, this endless cycle of sharing and commenting and rating, it isn't creating any real resistance. It's not making social change. It's just creating more and more information about the community itself.
The system isn't being challenged. It's just watching itself, learning about its users in a perfect closed loop. We think we're rebelling, but we're actually just feeding the machine more data about ourselves.
And that leaves us with a really provocative final thought. In a world that demands we express everything, that pressures us to turn every last part of ourselves into visible information, maybe the most radical, most resistant act you can perform isn't to speak louder. Maybe it's to choose silence, to hold something back, to keep a secret. In an age of total exposure, maybe the only true rebellion left is to refuse to be known.